On the news, President Tinubu met with traditional rulers, urged youth to forego protest. At least 5 dead and others hospitalized in Lagos building collapse. And INEC chairman says INEC can undo local government elections. Thanks for joining us on News Now on TV 360 Nigeria. I'm Tamilore Akinkolie. The meeting between President Bola Tinubu and Nigeria's traditional rulers has ended with an appeal to the nation's youth to forego their planned protests. Although an official statement from the government is pending, traditional rulers present at the meeting expressed concerns that the protests could undermine recent achievements in the country. The Emir of Zazzau, Alhaji Ahmed Nuhu Bamalli, conveyed the meeting's satisfaction with the presentations by President Tinubu and the Minister of Finance, which outlined the government's strategic plans for national improvement. He expressed concerns about the potential repercussions of the protests and called on parents to dissuade their children from participating.
People that are out there to maybe protest, it's their right, civic right. But let them put a face to it and don't let it be hijacked by people that has ulterior motive. That is our stand. We condemn such acts fully. We traditional rulers are not engaged in people, especially the youth, coming out to start looting, to start breaking down law and order. We are parents, we are traditional rulers, we are closer to them. We are going to go back home and continue to engage them.
This protest, I know that it's catching you very, very high in your neck. But if you give us the chance, let us not destroy our own country. I ask you, think of Libya. Libya was a beautiful country. What has happened to Libya, we don't want it to happen here. Let's go home. Let's continue to strive the best that we can and continue to work with the government to see if we can proffer some solutions. I think that that would be best rather than to destroy property or injure ourselves.
There is nobody that will not be worried, about protest in any place in the world. And we've seen what happened in other climes. Governments were brought down and they're still in war. At least as an ex-diplomat, we've seen what happened in other climes. So we're in a position to say authoritatively what happened in other places. So we're calling on our people to exercise patience and also to listen to the words of wisdom.
Meanwhile, the military has issued a stern warning against any form of violence ahead of the planned nationwide protest. Addressing the media in Abuja, Major General Edward Buba, the Director of Defense Media Operations, said that the military will not permit anarchy in Nigeria. He expressed concerns that the organizers of the protest aim to emulate the recent violent protest in Kenya. He said while citizens have the right to express their grievances, the military will not tolerate any violent gatherings. He also concluded by warning that anticipated level of violence would only lead to chaos and anarchy. He also gave a report on military operations for the months across the country.
And areas targeted. Accordingly, the level of violence being envisaged can only be described as a state of anarchy. The armed forces on its part will not stand by and allow anarchy to befall our nation. This is because we have seen wars and have witnessed anarchy in countries in which we have operated, particularly during the times of ECOMOG or during our peacekeeping operations in various countries. I believe that some people out there may fantasize about war or state of anarchy, thinking that it is like what they see in the movies. During the week under review, troops neutralized 106 terrorists and arrested 164 persons across the theaters of operation. Troops also arrested 32 perpetrators of oil theft and rescued 103 kidnapped hostages during the week. In the South-South, troops denied the oil theft of an estimated sum of about 800 million naira. Additionally, troops recovered 125 assorted weapons and 1,522.
5 construction workers lost their lives and several others got injured when a building under construction at Arowo-Jobe Estate in Maryland area of Lagos collapsed earlier today. The Lagos State Emergency Management Agency LASEMA has confirmed the incident, saying it was able to rescue some who were trapped under the rubble. Our correspondent Sidney Okafo has more on the story.
Emergency responders say the building, a set of 3 terraces under construction, came down at about 3:40 a.m., instantly killing 3 out of the 6 workers on site. 3 more persons were rescued from beneath the rubble, but 2 would later died of their injuries in the hospital, bringing the total number of casualties to 5.
We used to eat in that bus stop yesterday, so I don't jam there. They just come from Ibadan yesterday to come and work in this main useless site yesterday. So we now it has been long we see each other. We now started talking together, eating together till 10 o'clock yesterday night, talking together. So one of them is now saying, the whole team about knowing it me, like the money I spent is my own. I can do whatever I want with my money. So this morning I was working this morning. I was not able to walk. I've not heard anything about the issues. I was like, what is going on with me? Like, I want to walk now. So one of my boys now told me that there's the building that collapsed in this place. That's why I now ran to this place. And I don't even know what to say again. Like, I was confused. About 6 of them, we came from the same street, the same area, eat together, do most things together. So maybe they are dead like this. I don't even know the actual thing that's wrong with them like this.
But it's saddening to see that despite the effort of the government, a lot of our people are still not following the building codes of the state government. So the initial response effort yielded a good fruit because we were able to rescue 5 of the victims alive. They were treated, given a first aid and medical treatment and stabilized before they were transferred to a secondary secondary stage of hospital, which is the Bagada General Hospital and Trauma Center. Then, of course, we commenced the search and rescue operation with immediate effect, and we're able to recover, as I speak, 5 numbers of dead male adults, and that's sad.
This is the latest in a series of building collapse in Lagos in recent months. 2 other incidents were recorded few weeks ago in other parts of the city. The Council for the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria estimates over 91 buildings have collapsed in the city, resulting in over 354 deaths from 2012 till date.
Part of this building, unit of it, or part of the reinforcement, the concrete will have to be taken to material testing. So that would determine, of course, what really is the cause of the incident.
Authorities have now marked other buildings in close proximity with the collapsed building for integrity tests to prevent a reoccurrence in the neighborhood.
I know that we have done the normal thing. The integrity test is normal. You know, our safety, I think governments are doing the right thing as far as the safety of the people within the neighborhood.
There is nothing that is up to standard today. So where do we go? And you see, another problem is we don't have enough labs where we can go test it. But it's not really yes, it's our duty to confirm. But the onus is on SON to ensure that the building materials that are being marketed in our markets are quality, up to with the required quality. Why is it so? Why is it so difficult? Why is it so difficult? Why is it so difficult? Everything in Nigeria now is substandard.
The owner of the construction site behind me is yet to come forward. In the meantime, the Lagos State government has declared a continued crackdown not to give those selling substandard materials for building, as preliminary finding indicates that this may be as a result of substandard materials that led to the collapse of this building. Sydney Okafor, TV360, Lagos.
And Emmanuel Nwanyawo, the president of the Ohanaeze Ndigbo and foremost businessman, has passed away. This was confirmed in a statement on Thursday by Sonjide Nwanyawo. The 82-year-old Nwanyawo succumbed to a brief illness on Thursday, July 25, 2024. Nwanyawo held significant positions, including President General of Ohanaeze Ndigbo Worldwide and President of Owerri's People Assembly. He is survived by his wife Frances Nwanyawo, as well as numerous children and grandchildren. The family has said that burial details will be announced later following due consultations. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, says it can comfortably handle the conduct of local and government elections if the responsibility falls on it. Chairman of the Commission, Mahmood Yakubu, said this on Thursday when he appeared before the Joint Senate and House of Representatives Committee on Electoral Matters on preparation for the upcoming governorship elections in Edo and Ondo states. He said INEC has the capacity to handle local government elections, but that it would only be possible when the law is amended and permitted to do so. He, however, appealed to lawmakers to promptly pass the Electoral Offenders Bill, which would empower INEC to make arrests, conduct thorough investigation of electoral offences, and reduce electoral misconduct.
There is any specific thing you would like to know about the position of INEC. But so far, we have had three broad arguments or positions canvassed. One, transfer responsibility for the conduct of local government elections to INEC. The question is, and that's probably what this joint committee wants to hear, if that is done, can INEC cope? I will come back to that. The second proposition we have had is that no, there should be a new Federal Electoral Commission for local government elections. And then thirdly, there is another argument that no, leave the state electoral commissions to conduct local government elections in the spirit of federalism, but find a way of ensuring that they improve on the conduct of local government elections. Right now, the law has not been amended. The same constitution that creates INEC also creates the state independent electoral commissions. So it is up to the National Assembly to amend the law to transfer that responsibility to INEC. If that is done, the question is, can INEC cope? Because we have also been saying that we should be unbundled. That is true, but we have never said that we should be unbundled beyond the conduct of electoral activities rather than elections.
The Nigerian Senate is vowed to expose saboteurs of the nation's petroleum sector and those responsible for the importation of toxic fuel into the country. The Senate ad hoc committee to investigate the alleged economic sabotage in the Nigerian petroleum industry met this session on Thursday, July 25th, during a press conference in Abuja. The chairman of the ad hoc committee, who is also the majority leader of the Senate, Senator Opeyemi Bamidele, said they are taking the task seriously with a view to addressing the fundamental issues that pose grave threat to the economic prosperity, fiscal stability, and public health as a federation.
Our investigation seeks to identify and hold accountable all parties involved in the importation and distribution of the adulterated petroleum products, PMS and AGO. This includes suppliers, importers, regulatory bodies, and any other entity that may have contributed to this serious lapse in quality control. With a view to addressing fundamental issues that pose grave threats to our economic prosperity, fiscal stability, and public health as a nation. In line with our mandate, we will definitely unravel the roots of economic sabotage in Nigeria's petroleum industry and make necessary recommendations that will entrench global best practices in the industry and open it up for more investments, especially in the midstream and downstream sectors. We are utterly committed to this mandate. We shall also carry out this national assignment without fear or favor. We shall be fair and just to all parties with a view to promoting and protecting the strategic national interests of our fatherland.
And protesters from Borno South under the aegis of the Borno South Development Association gathered today at the Unity Foundation in Abuja to appeal for clemency for the recently dismissed Chief Whip of the Senate, Senator Ali Ndume. They urged Senate President, Senator Godswill Akpabio, and the entire Senate leadership to reconsider their decision in the interest of fairness and justice. Addressing the press, the leader of the protesters, Mohammed Ibrahim Biu, commended Ndume as a dynamic senator who has diligently served his constituents over the years. Ndume's removal as Chief Whip came after his remark on national television, where he described government officials as kleptocrats. The protesters contend that this is not a justifiable reason for his dismissal and called for his reinstatement.
We from Southern Borno Senatorial District, Senator Mohammed Ali Ndume is our only hope in the National Assembly. His position as the majority chief whip, that is the only position that Southern Borno has in the National Assembly and even at the federal level. So we feel shortchanged by removing Senator Ali Ndume from that position. We are therefore appealing to the Senate President and the Senate to reconsider their decision, taking into consideration the contributions of Senator Ndume in the National Assembly in the last 20 years. He has been a dogged senator who believed in the rule of law, who has contributed immensely even to the emergence of the present leadership of the Senate. We therefore appeal passionately to the President, Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
We'll take a break here, but still to come, 20 killed as suspected terrorist attack Eastern DR Congo. Details of the story after this break. Welcome back. Now here's a recap of our top stories. President Bola Tinubu and Nigeria's traditional rulers have jointly appealed to the youth to abandon their planned protest, warning that it could jeopardize recent progress. In a meeting, traditional rulers expressed support for Tinubu's policies and emphasized the need for more time to implement changes. The Emir of Zazzau and other leaders also highlighted security concerns and the need for patience. We also told you that the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has expressed its readiness to manage local government elections if granted the responsibility. Speaking before a joint Senate and House of Representatives committee on July 25th, Chairman Mahmoud Yakubu of the Commission said INEC has the capacity to handle these elections but emphasized that this would require a legal amendment. He also urged lawmakers to expedite the passage of the Electoral Offenders Bill, which would enable INEC to arrest suspects, conduct detailed investigations, and reduce electoral misconduct. Now, in case you missed any of our news bulletin or for more updates, you can catch us on Lime's World TV and AVO TV or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at TV360 Nigeria, or download our mobile app on Google Play Store or Huawei App Gallery and Apple Store. On Facebook, we're TV360 Online. It's now time for business news, and Okpayemi Owosheni is on standby. Over to you, Okpayemi.
Thank you, Tamilore. Welcome to business news. The Nigerian government has issued a stern warning to international oil companies operating in Nigeria to comply with gas flaring directives. The country has committed to attaining net zero emissions by 2060, setting an ambitious target of ending gas flaring by 2030. But not much progress has so far been made, as the issue still remains a big problem. But speaking at the third edition of the National Extractive Dialogue 2024, organized by Spaces for Change, a non-governmental organization in Abuja, Nigeria's Minister of State for Environment, Isiaq Salako, says the country will now go tough on enforcement. TV360's correspondent Tamilore Akinkolie has the rest of the story.
Despite Nigeria's ambitious target to end gas flaring by 2030, roughly 6 years from now, gas flaring is still very much a commonplace in the country's oil-rich Niger Delta region. Every day, millions of cubic feet of gas are being flared across the oil-producing areas of Nigeria. One report by Nigeria Gas Flare Tracker estimates that between 2020 and 2024, the country flared gas valued at $2 billion. It is because of these disturbing statistics that stakeholders are gathered here for the third National Extractive Dialogue on Gas Flare Reduction 2024, an annual event aimed at strengthening accountability and transparent management of oil, gas, and mineral resources in West Africa.
It is an important gathering on our journey towards a more sustainable and responsible future, and a testament to our collective commitment to environmental stewardship, innovation, and the pursuit of sustainable practices within the extractive industry in Nigeria and the West African sub-region.
The minister told the gathering that the government has now decided to crack down on offending oil companies to ensure they comply with country's policy on gas flare reduction.
Let me, at this point in time, say that this policy of penalty is not to encourage gas flaring. Nigeria is committed, and we have a target date of ending gas flaring, and everything that needs to be done, government is doing this. So imposing penalty is not to encourage gas flaring, it's as a matter of fact to discourage it.
Despite the challenges, authorities say some progress has been made, and its record shows that there have been some decline in gas flaring. The Executive Secretary of the Nigeria Extractive Industry Transparency Initiative said data of his agency shows 884 million standard cubic feet of gas were flared in 2011, compared to 249 million standard cubic feet in 2021, marking a 51.27% reduction.
Gas flaring exacerbates global warming. It leads to economic losses, and this squanders our potential power generation capabilities. However, it is within our power to change that. By reducing gas flaring, we can significantly cut our carbon emissions, unlock economic value, and foster economic development that benefits all Nigerians.
Despite the figure, other speakers at the gathering says much more still needs to be done if the country is serious about meeting its net zero commitment.
The well-documented environmental and health ramifications of gas flaring have far-reaching effects, deteriorating air quality and public health, while also aggravating the global climate crisis. Nevertheless, amid this seemingly insurmountable challenge lies a remarkable opportunity for groundbreaking innovation, meaningful collaboration, and tangible progress.
With the United Nations projection for Nigeria's population to rise to over 260 million by 2030 and over 400 million by 2050, which is just 10 years away from now, the country's which is just 10 away from the country's net zero target of 2060, NATIC predicts an upsurge in energy demand by more than, which may surpass the 47% projected global projection in the same period in 2015.
As effort to ensure environmental sustainability continues, collaboration between the government, oil companies and stakeholders will be crucial in achieving the country's gas flaring goals. Tamilore Akinkolea, TV360, Lagos.
We'll take a short break now. I'll be back with stock market reports. Welcome back. Nigeria's equities market furthered its downward movement on Thursday as sell price pressures continued on the bourse. The market decreased by 118 billion naira at the close of trading. Now, on the Nigerian Stock Exchange today, it was quite a roller coaster as Omatech Ventures took a bit of tumble, ending the day with a 10% share depreciation at 0 naira 63 kobo per share. Now, overall, the FT amount of action went down with 366 million volumes of share, swapping hands in 8,197 due. That's corresponding to a market value of over 6 billion naira. When compared to the previous NGX trading day, that's Wednesday, we see about 26% decline in the volume, 20% decline in turnover, and 3% decline in the dues. Now, looking at our foreigns, in global equities were mixed on Thursday as the investors assessed stronger than expected GDP data and also remained cautious after suffering a tech mulling in the previous session. It was all greens apart from the Nikkei, which ended at 3.28%. Switching gears to the forex scene, the naira dipped further to trade at 1,595 naira to $1 on the black market. The pound traded at 2,075 naira as well on the black market, and the euro traded at 1,700 naira on the black market. That's it on both business and stock market report. Back to you, Tamilore, for the rest of the news.
Thank you, Okpayemi. Now on the global scene, in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, an attack has killed around 20 people, local source reported, attributing the violence to militant affiliated with the Islamic State group. The attack, blamed on the Allied Democratic Forces ADF by area residents, occurred in the Benin territory within the troubled North Kivu province. The victims, mostly farmers, were either shot or killed with knives in a village about 30 kilometers from Ochia, where most of the bodies were subsequently taken. And finally, on sport, Nigeria Super Falcons says it will slug it out with Brazil in their first Women Olympics football tournament game on Thursday. The match is going to hold at the Stade de Bordeaux in France. This opening clash promises to be a test of skill and strategy as the Super Falcons faces on the tournament's strong contenders. According to report, anticipation is high, with fans eager to see how the Super Falcons will perform against the formidable Brazilian side. Super Falcons' preparation has been intense, and they are determined to put up a robust fight in their Olympic campaign's opener. And that wraps up our bulletin on news now. Thank you for watching. See you again next time.